name's Lynda Gaiao and welcome to this week's video. Today we're going to take a look at trait 59, Achieving Union. What we have here is a strategy for connecting to or bonding with other people. And when we look at it from the human design perspective, this is about breaking down the barriers to intimacy for a strategy of connection to create new life. When we look at it from a BG5 perspective, we're looking at it more from, who are the correct people for us to partner with in order to break down those barriers, and that intimacy that gets created when the barriers are broken down is more from a perspective of entering into some form of creative business venture or partnership. Now, when we think about existing on this planet as human beings, without this ability to break down barriers, without this ability to bond, there would be no more human life. Ultimately, we need this capacity for people to bond in order to reproduce, to create new life. And when we shift into the business perspective, the same is really true. We cannot do business in isolation. In fact, we need others to do business. And very often, even if we're running a solopreneur business, there are these partnerships that we develop with others that help us to enable our business to succeed. And when we have the correct partnership with somebody, when you can sense that deep connection with another, that kind of level of intimacy and that correctness in that partnership, this is where we can see some of the most fruitful, creative business ventures coming out of that. And so it's not really something that's going to happen from the level of the mind. It's more about an auric or energetic ability to really break down that barrier and be able to go deep into the aura of another being and create this bonding strategy. Now, the real difference between following your decision-making strategy and connecting with the correct partner versus not following your decision-making strategy and connecting to the incorrect partner, when we are connected to someone that's correct, then you're going to have these bonds that are very warm and engaging, and there's this natural intimate quality to them. But when the bonds are incorrect, it's going to lead to this confusion and conflict, and it's going to be very unproductive, and there's going to be this superficiality around the feeling of that partnership. And so just really taking the time to ensure that you're connecting to the right partner, because that's going to produce the most viable outcomes from that particular partnership. And this isn't really about bonding with everybody, because not everyone is correct for us. It is actually quite a selective process. And when we are in business, the ability for a business to succeed is very much connected to the quality of the connections with the people that come into our space. And when we first start out in business, there can be this kind of pressure or this sense of urgency to create partnerships with anyone and everybody. Just because there's this fear for survival. And this is really where we can become unstuck in business, because we are operating from a fear space. And so really taking the time to ensure that you're bonding with the right people is going to be so crucial to the material success of the business. And what's going to happen when you are taking the time and you're being selective about who you connect with, who you bond with, is going to bring out so much more creativity, and that real intimacy that comes in those types of partnerships and connections is so enjoyable. There is something to be said for a relationship that has depth to it versus something that's really superficial. So this week, what I'd encourage you to do is to notice who is coming into your field. and to be selective and take your time and to really trust your decision-making strategy, and just seeing where those partnerships and relationships go. How do they evolve over time? When we are looking at trait 59, there are very different strategies that can come forward here. And if you have this trait in your design, you will see that there's a specific strategy that is most aligned to you. If you don't have this trait in your design and it's just coming through in the transits, you may feel different ways of bonding surface as the trait moves through the different line qualities. So there's 6 line qualities connected to any trait, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And each one of those has a very different and unique way of creating this bond, of breaking down the barriers. And just watching, paying attention, and noticing if you see these different flavors show up as the week progresses. If you have any stories or any partnerships that have resulted in these creative business ventures that come from following a decision-making strategy and being really selective about who you connect with, then I'd love to hear from you. Please pop any stories in the comments below. And if you want to be notified each week of when a new trait becomes active, then don't forget to click on the subscribe button. I hope you have an awesome week achieving union with others and breaking down these barriers to bonding. And until next time, I hope you have an awesome week. Bye for now.